In the heart of the Galapagos Islands, off the coast of Ecuador, lived a creature as old as time itself. Lonesome George, a giant tortoise, stood as the last of his kind. He was a Pinta Island tortoise, a species teetering on the brink of extinction. His weathered skin and wise eyes held the stories of generations past, a living testament to the fragility of life. Giant tortoises like Lonesome George are symbols of resilience and longevity. These gentle giants can live for over a century, witnessing the world change around them. Their grazing habits shape the vegetation, influencing the lives of other plants and animals. Lonesome George's plight became a global concern, a symbol of the ongoing biodiversity crisis. Lonesome George carried the weight of his species on his massive shoulders. As the last known Pinta Island tortoise, he represented the fragility of life and the devastating consequences of human actions. His genes held the key to preserving the legacy of his kind, a glimmer of hope for a future where the Pinta Island tortoise might roam free once more. Lonesome George became an ambassador for his species, a symbol of the urgent need for conservation. His story served as a wake-up call, reminding us that extinction is forever, and that we have a responsibility to protect the natural world. Our actions have consequences, and the choices we make today will determine the fate of countless species, including our own. The loss of biodiversity is not just an environmental issue, it is a human issue, affecting our health, well-being, and the future of our planet. The discovery of Lonesome George in 1971 on the island of Pinta changed the course of conservation history. Found by a Hungarian scientist, József Vagvolgi, George's existence sparked a wave of interest in the plight of the Pinta Island tortoises. His discovery ignited a global conservation effort, with scientists, conservationists, and governments coming together to protect this unique ecosystem. The Galapagos Islands, with their remarkable biodiversity, became a living laboratory for studying evolution and the importance of preserving fragile ecosystems. Lonesome George's story became a call to action, urging us to reconsider our relationship with the natural world and strive for a more sustainable future. Pinta Island, a rugged volcanic outcrop in the Galapagos archipelago, became synonymous with Lonesome George. Shaped by fiery eruptions and sculpted by the relentless forces of wind and wave, this seemingly barren island held the key to the giant tortoise's survival. Its unique landscape, a tapestry of volcanic cones, lava fields, and sparse vegetation, provided a harsh yet strangely beautiful home for these ancient creatures. Pinta's arid climate, influenced by the cool Humboldt Current, dictates the rhythm of life on the island. The tortoises, with their slow metabolisms and ability to withstand long periods without food or water, thrived in this environment for millennia. Their lives were intricately linked to the cycles of drought and sporadic rainfall, their movements dictated by the availability of fresh vegetation. They became expert navigators of their volcanic domain, their massive legs carrying them across lava fields and up steep slopes in search of sustenance. Life on Pinta Island was a delicate balancing act, a testament to the adaptability of life in the face of adversity. The island's inhabitants, including Lonesome George, lived on the edge, their survival dependent on their ability to withstand the harsh realities of their volcanic home. The scarcity of fresh water shaped their behavior, driving them to seek out moisture-rich cacti and dew-laden vegetation. The Pinta Island tortoises, with their distinctive saddleback shells, were masters of their environment. Their long necks and sturdy limbs allowed them to reach high into the prickly pear cacti, their primary source of food and water. These gentle giants, despite their size and strength, were intimately connected to the delicate balance of their ecosystem. Their grazing habits influenced the distribution of plant life, their dung providing vital nutrients to the soil. With limited genetic diversity, the Pinta Island tortoises were susceptible to diseases and environmental changes. Once a sanctuary for giant tortoises, Pinta Island's fate took a dramatic turn with the arrival of humans. The arrival of sailors, seeking provisions for their long voyages, marked the beginning of a new era for Pinta, one that would have devastating consequences for its reptilian inhabitants. Giant tortoises, docile and easily captured, became a readily available source of fresh meat for passing ships. Their ability to survive for months without food or water made them ideal provisions for long sea voyages. The once abundant tortoise populations began to dwindle under the relentless pressure of human exploitation. The introduction of non-native species, often unintentional but with far-reaching consequences, further disrupted Pinta's fragile ecosystem. Goats, brought to the island as a potential food source, reproduced rapidly and grazed voraciously on the island's vegetation, competing directly with the tortoises for sustenance. As the decades passed, a haunting silence descended upon Pinta Island. The once familiar sounds of giant tortoises lumbering through the undergrowth, their shells scraping against volcanic rock, faded into memory. The bustling ecosystem, once a testament to the tenacity of life, bore the scars of human activity. The lush vegetation that once carpeted the island, providing sustenance and shade for generations of tortoises, dwindled under the relentless grazing of introduced goats. The landscape, stripped bare in many areas, stood as a stark reminder of the delicate balance that had been disrupted. The disappearance of the Pinta Island tortoises left a void in the ecosystem, a missing link in the intricate web of life. Their absence had a ripple effect, impacting the distribution of plant life, seed dispersal, and even the soil composition. The story of the Pinta Island tortoise, like Lonesome George himself, is shrouded in a veil of mystery and loss. Their tale, passed down through generations of scientific inquiry and local lore, paints a picture of a species once deeply intertwined with the rhythm of their volcanic home. Their decline, a stark reminder of the fragility of island ecosystems, serves as a cautionary tale of the far-reaching consequences of human actions. Before the arrival of humans, the Pinta Island tortoise thrived in its isolated paradise. Their numbers, estimated to have once reached tens of thousands, played a pivotal role in shaping the island's unique ecosystem. Their grazing habits influenced the distribution of plant life, their massive bodies carving paths through the dense vegetation, shaping the very landscape they inhabited. Tales of these gentle giants, whispered among sailors and explorers, often spoke of their immense size and docile nature. The volcanic slopes of Pinta Island hold more than just the echoes of a lost paradise. They cradle the very evidence of the tortoise's former abundance. Scattered amongst the volcanic rocks and sparse vegetation lie the bleached remnants of countless tortoise shells, silent testaments to a bygone era. These skeletal remains, weathered by time and the elements, whisper tales of a thriving population decimated by forces beyond their control. Scientists, carefully excavating these bone beds, piece together the history of the Pinta Island tortoise, their findings revealing a story of resilience and, ultimately, tragedy. The size and shape of the shells provide clues about the tortoise's age, diet, and overall health, painting a vivid picture of their lives on the island. The sheer number of remains underscores the magnitude of their decline, a stark reminder of the impact of human activity on even the most remote corners of the globe. Despite the absence of living Pinta Island tortoises for decades, their presence lingered on the island like phantoms. Local fishermen, navigating the treacherous waters surrounding Pinta, shared tales of fleeting glimpses of giant tortoises, their dark shells surfacing momentarily before disappearing into the depths. These anecdotal accounts, passed down through generations, fueled speculation that perhaps, against all odds, a few survivors remained, hidden amongst the island's volcanic crevices. The possibility, however remote, ignited a flicker of hope in the hearts of conservationists. Expeditions, armed with the latest tracking technology and driven by the faintest glimmer of finding another Lonesome George, ventured into the harshest reaches of Pinta. They scoured the rugged terrain, their hopes rising with each fresh tortoise track or pile of dung, only to be met with disappointment as the trail inevitably ran cold. The extinction of the Pinta Island tortoise, a tragedy driven by human actions, serves as a stark reminder of the interconnectedness of species and the delicate balance of island ecosystems. The tortoises, once masters of their volcanic domain, were ill-equipped to cope with the sudden influx of introduced predators and the relentless exploitation of their kind. Their story is not unique. It mirrors the plight of countless island species driven to the brink by habitat loss, invasive species, and overexploitation. The Pinta Island tortoise's extinction is a story of a species set adrift, their evolutionary journey abruptly interrupted by forces beyond their control. Their demise highlights the vulnerability of island ecosystems, where limited gene pools and specialized adaptations make species particularly susceptible to environmental change. The tortoise's fate underscores the need for proactive conservation measures, protecting not just individual species but the fragile web of life that sustains them. The discovery of Lonesome George in 1971 ignited a spark of hope in the hearts of conservationists worldwide. Here, amidst the volcanic desolation of Pinta Island, lived a symbol of resilience, a living testament to the enduring spirit of a species thought lost forever. His very existence spurred a global effort to understand and protect the fragile ecosystem he represented, a beacon of hope in a world increasingly aware of the threats facing endangered species. The world watched with bated breath as scientists embarked on a mission to save not only Lonesome George, but also the legacy of the Pinta Island tortoise. His genetic material, a treasure trove of evolutionary history, held the key to potentially reviving his lineage. Lonesome George, once an emblem of solitude, became the focal point of an unprecedented conservation effort. Lonesome George's precarious existence on Pinta Island necessitated a drastic change of scenery. He was relocated to the Charles Darwin Research Station on Santa Cruz Island, a haven for Galapagos wildlife. Here, he lived under the watchful eyes of dedicated conservationists. A specially designed enclosure provided ample space to roam and bask. He was given a diet of native plants. Regular health checks ensured his well-being. The station became his sanctuary, dedicated to his protection and legacy. His presence provided invaluable opportunities for research and education. The preservation of Lonesome George's genetic legacy became a top priority for conservationists. His genes, the last remnants of a lineage stretching back millennia, held the potential to reintroduce Pinta Island tortoises to their ancestral home. However, the path to achieving this ambitious goal was fraught with challenges, a delicate dance between scientific advancement and the unpredictable nature of reproduction. Scientists explored various avenues to perpetuate Lonesome George's lineage, employing cutting-edge techniques in the hopes of producing offspring. Artificial insemination, a process commonly used in captive breeding programs, proved unsuccessful despite numerous attempts. The intricacies of tortoise reproduction, coupled with the unique challenges of working with such a rare and elderly individual, presented formidable obstacles. Despite the setbacks, hope persisted. The scientific community, driven by the desire to right the wrongs of the past, continued to refine their techniques and explore new possibilities. The quest to revive the Pinta Island tortoise became a testament to human ingenuity and the unwavering commitment to conservation. In a desperate attempt to encourage Lonesome George to reproduce naturally, conservationists embarked on a global search for a suitable mate. The ideal candidate, they hypothesized, would be a female tortoise from a closely related subspecies, one whose offspring might carry a significant portion of the Pinta Island tortoise's genetic heritage. After years of meticulous research and logistical maneuvering, two female tortoises, originating from the nearby island of Isabella, and bearing striking similarities to the Pinta lineage, were introduced into Lonesome George's enclosure. The hope was that these females, carefully selected for their genetic compatibility, would spark a romantic interest in the world's most eligible bachelor. Despite the best efforts of the matchmakers, Lonesome George, set in his ways and perhaps carrying the weight of his species on his sturdy shoulders, showed little interest in his potential mates. Years turned into decades, and the hope of witnessing the pitter-patter of tiny tortoise feet in his enclosure slowly dwindled. On a somber morning in June 2012, the world received the heartbreaking news. Lonesome George, the last known Pinta Island tortoise, had passed away. His passing, at the estimated age of over 100, marked the end of an era, the silencing of a lineage that had endured for millennia. The news, though not entirely unexpected given his advanced age, sent ripples of sadness across the globe. Lonesome George's passing served as a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the irreversible consequences of human actions. His story, a poignant blend of hope and loss, became a global rallying cry for conservation, galvanizing efforts to protect endangered species and their habitats. His legacy, though tinged with sadness, would live on, inspiring generations to come. In the wake of his passing, Lonesome George's body was preserved through taxidermy, his imposing form frozen in time. He became a permanent resident of the Charles Darwin Research Station, a silent ambassador for the Galapagos Islands, and a powerful symbol of the importance of conservation. Lonesome George's passing ignited global conservation awareness. His story transcended boundaries, symbolizing the need to protect biodiversity. Lonesome George became a symbol of interconnectedness and urgent conservation. The grief following his death showed the power of his story. Newspapers worldwide lamented the loss of a species. Social media buzzed with tributes reflecting on conservation. Schools taught his story, emphasizing environmental stewardship. His legacy appeared in documentaries, books, and songs. His name became a rallying cry against extinction. Lonesome George's image became an emblem of the conservation movement. His story inspired donations to protect endangered species. His name graced research vessels and conservation centers. The Galapagos Islands became linked with Lonesome George. Tourist numbers surged, supporting conservation efforts. In a testament to the enduring hope that Lonesome George's story inspired, scientists refused to give up on the possibility of reviving the Pinta Island tortoise. Drawing on advances in genetic technology, they embarked on ambitious projects aimed at de-extincting the species, using genetic material from Lonesome George and museum specimens to potentially recreate his kind. One promising avenue involved the discovery of hybrid tortoises on Isabella Island, some of which possessed a surprising amount of Pinta Island tortoise DNA in their genetic makeup. This finding suggested that Pinta tortoises, transported to Isabella by sailors centuries earlier, had interbred with the native population, leaving behind a faint genetic echo of their existence. Scientists began selectively breeding these hybrids, hoping to concentrate the Pinta genes and eventually produce offspring that closely resembled their extinct ancestors. While the prospect of bringing back the Pinta Island tortoise from the brink of extinction captured the imagination, it also sparked ethical debates about the wisdom and implications of such endeavors. Lonesome George's story became a parable for the modern age, a cautionary tale about the consequences of human actions and the urgent need to change our relationship with the natural world. His legacy served as a call to action, urging individuals, communities, and nations to prioritize conservation, not just for the sake of preserving biodiversity, but for the well-being of future generations. The challenges facing conservation remain immense. Habitat destruction, climate change, pollution, and wildlife trafficking continue to threaten countless species around the globe. Yet amidst these daunting challenges, Lonesome George's story offered a glimmer of hope, demonstrating the power of awareness, education, and collective action. His legacy inspired a new generation of conservationists armed with the knowledge, passion, and determination to make a difference. From local communities protecting their natural resources to international organizations working to combat global threats, the fight to preserve biodiversity continues, fueled by the memory of a solitary tortoise who became an unlikely icon for a planet in peril. Lonesome George's life, though confined to a few islands in the vast Pacific, transcended borders and touched millions worldwide. His story, a blend of scientific endeavor and loss, reminds us of our responsibility to protect our planet. His legacy inspires hope and better stewardship. Lonesome George's story is a reminder of our planet's interconnectedness. His lonely existence urges us to acknowledge human impact on ecosystems. We must become guardians of a shared future, cherishing biodiversity and protecting the natural world. Every action, no matter how small, contributes to a larger solution.